So, if you're listening to this right now, you're probably someone who, really values your downtime,
Oh, absolutely.
right? Like you finish your work, you close the laptop, and you just kind of exhale.
You reclaim your time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what if I told you that the whole concept of downtime is basically becoming this modern illusion?
It's a terrifying thought, honestly.
It really is. And that's our mission for today's deep dive. We are exploring a stack of just incredibly fascinating essays.
Really eye-opening stuff.
Yeah, pieces like Standby Living and The Erosion of Rest, Tethered and The Interior
Those are
Room.
brilliant essays.
They are.
Hmm.
And they dive into the hidden psychological, physical, and spiritual costs of just being constantly connected.
And we're looking at this through a very specific lens today, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're using the modern long-haul trucking industry as our ultimate magnifying glass.
Which might sound niche at first.
Right, like why truckers. But we are looking at them to understand this just terrifying shift in modern labor that is literally affecting everyone.
It's the canary in the coal mine.
Perfectly said. Okay, let's unpack this, because this isn't just about, long hours or working hard.
No, it's way deeper than that.
It's about the fundamental loss of the boundary that protects human rest.
What's fascinating here is that the sources don't actually focus on the moving truck.
Right, which is what you'd expect.
Exactly. When we think of logistics, we think of highways, speed, motion, but the real issue is found in the parked truck.
The parked truck.
Yeah, the central question of these essays is basically what happens to a human being when the system learns how to stay awake inside them long after they've officially clocked out.
Wow. Okay, let's paint that picture for a second to really establish the baseline here.
Set the scene.
Yeah. So it's like 2:0 a.m. at a truck stop in Ohio.
Freezing cold outside.
Freezing. The massive diesel engine is finally off. The driver's in the back, in the sleeper berth, completely still.
To anyone walking by, that person is resting.
Right. They look totally off the clock. But inside the cab, right next to them, the Qualcomm, the onboard tracking system, is just humming.
It's tracking their location by the second.
Yeah. And their personal phone is right there, too, fully charged, volume turned all the way up.
Just waiting.
Exactly. So their body is still, but biologically, their nervous system is just sprinting.
It's processing the environment not as a place of rest, but as a zone of potential threat.
Which is wild. It makes me think of this analogy. It's like trying to sleep in your own bedroom, right? You're under the covers.
Right, nice and cozy.
But the door to your bedroom is wide open, and it connects directly to your office.
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
Right. And anyone from your office can just walk in, flip on the overhead lights, and hand you a memo at like 3:0 a.m.
And you just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your body is in bed, but your brain is essentially still sitting in the cubicle.
That analogy actually perfectly captures what the sources call rented time.
Rented time.
Yeah, so time feels rented instead of owned. You see, the trucking industry realized this dangerous truth.
Which is?
A driver doesn't actually have to be actively driving for the company to maintain control over them.
Oh, wow. Because they're tethered.
Exactly. The mere possibility of an interruption is enough to maintain that control.
The possibility is enough. That is, there's this phrase in the text that highlights that perfectly.
The invisible asterisk.
Yes. The invisible asterisk. I love that phrase so much.
It's so accurate.
Because it means rest is totally uncertain. Every moment of your recovery has this invisible asterisk attached to it.
Like you are off duty.
Unless we need you.
Right.
You can pause, but you cannot disappear.
And that completely redefines how we think about labor.
Okay, let's transition into that. Because if the driver's mind is still working while the truck is parked, how does the system actually view that mental state?
Well, the sources argue that availability itself has become a baseline condition of employment.
Just being available.
Right. It's not just about moving freight anymore. It's the permanent expectation of reachability.
So what does this all mean, practically speaking?
It means if the system demands it and you can hear the phone, you answer it. Period.
But wait, if someone is just sitting there, maybe eating a sandwich, waiting for a message that, might not even come that day, is that actually labor?
That's the billion-dollar question.
All right. Or is it just like the unavoidable reality of modern logistics?
A lot of companies would argue it's just logistics, but the experts in these essays emphasize that this is a totally new level of extraction.
Extraction of what, exactly?
Cognitive and emotional energy. It's cognitive occupation.
Cognitive occupation.
Yeah. The system takes your off time and converts it into waiting time.
And waiting is exhausting.
Incredibly. Because the worker is treated as reachable first, human second.
Which brings up that really chilling detail from the text. The part about how availability becomes moralized.
Oh, yes. This is a huge point.
Like, good workers answer fast. Good workers stay easy to reach.
The buried logic there is so manipulative.
It totally is. It treats any distance from work as a problem that needs to be solved.
It punishes disconnection.
Exactly. It makes silence seem suspicious. Like, if you don't answer right away, you're not resting, you're hiding something.
Right. Or you're just not a team player.
Yeah. But if constant availability is this training, how did systems actually convince workers to accept it in the first place?
Well, that's where the great lie of technology comes in.
The Trojan horse.
Precisely. The sources argue that technology didn't actually make work easier.
Which is what they always promise.
Right. The promise is always friction-free labor. But in reality, it just made everything reachable.
First the load, then the route.
Then the truck, and finally the human being inside it. All tracked instantly.
It's like the smart home gone wrong.
How do you mean?
Like, you buy all these smart devices because they're supposed to make your life so much smoother, right?
Right. The fridge that orders milk for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then the system just ends up surveilling your every move, and suddenly your smart toaster is waking you up at 4 a.m. for a system update.
That is a very apt comparison.
You're just managing the thing that's supposed to manage your life.
And if we look at the language highlighted in the text, it's so sanitized.
Oh, the corporate speak.
Yeah. The industry doesn't call it surveillance, they call it communication.
Or visibility. I love that one. We just need visibility on the driver.
Coordination is another favorite. And of course, support.
Yes. We're installing this tracker to support you. But the lived experience of the driver is just never being fully off the clock.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it gets pretty dark.
How so?
When uninterrupted access becomes the industry norm, normal human boundaries start to look like actual defects.
Like bugs in the software.
Exactly. Slowness is flagged as inefficiency.
And silence is treated as non-compliance.
You nailed it. The surveillance is brilliantly disguised as support.
Okay, so we've unmasked the tech. But we have to talk about what this actually does to the body.
The physiological damage.
Yeah, because doing this for months and years, it introduces this concept from the sources of the thinner fatigue.
It's such a poetic but devastating phrase.
Right, because it's not the dramatic Hollywood collapse of physical exhaustion.
No, you're not hauling bricks.
Exactly. It's just this quiet, relentless exhaustion of literally never dropping your guard.
Here's where it gets really interesting from a biological standpoint.
Oh, please, break down the science for us.
So, the sources describe how the nervous system reacts to this. Even when absolutely nothing is happening, no messages, no alerts, the body learns to wait for an interruption.
So your baseline stress is just permanently elevated.
Right. Peace starts to feel like merely a gap between interruptions.
A gap between interruptions. That is so bleak.
It creates a life lived entirely in fragments.
Tragic. Just tragic.
It really is. The text details how this standby living steals presence from the moments that actually matter.
Like phone calls home to your family.
Exactly. Or just small restorative moments, like enjoying a cup of coffee. You can't fully sink into it.
Because your mind is half occupied.
Your heart is half guarded. You are literally always half waiting, half listening, and half bracing.
And the craziest part is, the system pretends it's doing absolutely nothing wrong.
Well, sure, because it's just one text message, right?
Exactly. A single message or a quick, hey, just checking in call seems totally harmless in isolation.
But it's not isolated. It's the accumulation.
It's a compounding effect.
Right. Stacking those tiny interruptions over years creates a reality where the worker is literally never left alone.
Never left alone.
Yeah.
Wow. Which brings us, I think, to the deepest layer of the text.
The interior room.
Yes. We've talked about the physical nervous system, but this is about the philosophical, like the spiritual cost of this.
The erosion of human identity.
Let's start with that sharp distinction that text makes between presence and accessibility.
It's a crucial distinction. We tend to conflate the two in modern culture.
We really do. Like, are you present for this meeting?
Right. But presence is fundamentally human. It is chosen, and it's rooted in your own internal awareness.
It's a gift you give someone.
Exactly. Accessibility, on the other hand, is open to extraction.
It's a demand.
Yes, it's open to instruction and demand from an outside force.
Which leads right into the concept of the inner room.
The psychological sanctuary.
Yeah, it's this space in your mind where you just remember who you are apart from what the system needs you to be.
Your core self.
But when work follows you absolutely everywhere, that room weakens.
The walls get very thin.
Right. But let me play devil's advocate for a second here.
Go for it.
Because to someone outside the trucking industry, calling this a spiritual issue
Yeah.
or saying it's dehumanizing might sound a bit dramatic.
Sure, I can see that.
Like, are the sources maybe overstating this just to make a point?
It's a fair question, but no, they're not. And diving deeper into the analysis shows why.
Okay, convince me.
It is a spiritual issue because it reduces a complex human being into what they call a node in a chain of response.
A node, like just a router in a computer network.
Exactly. Something that just answers and updates. It strips away sovereignty.
Because there's profound dignity in just being unavailable.
Absolutely. There is deep health in being unreachable. The sources argue that a world that never disconnects isn't just fast, it is deeply invasive.
It breaches the whole of who you are.
Yes. And that brings up the shadow of demand.
Ooh, what's that?
When the self is forced to rest inside a monitored zone rather than a true sealed boundary,
Right.
a person eventually stops feeling where they end and the job begins.
Oh, wow. The boundary completely dissolved.
Exactly. The system doesn't even need to chase you anymore.
Because, as the text says so chillingly, it is already inside the room.
It's already inside the room. You patrol yourself.
You become your own middle manager.
Exactly. Your anxiety does the surveillance for them.
That is just, it's honestly terrifying.
It really reframes how we think about modern labor.
It really does. Wow. Okay, let's synthesize this whole deep dive. Because we've covered a ton of ground.
We really have.
We started with just a parked truck in Ohio.
A simple image.
Very simple. But we uncovered this massive shift in modern life. The loss of our basic human right to be unavailable.
And how it created standby living.
Yes. And how this standby living just slowly grinds down our nervous systems.
Through the illusion of support.
Exactly. Disguising total surveillance as a helpful tool.
This raises an important question, though, for the listener.
Yeah, I think everyone listening needs to look at their own life right now.
Exactly. How many of your own restful moments have that invisible asterisk attached?
Like how much of your so-called peace is actually just waiting for the next digital demand?
Are you resting or are you just on standby?
Right. And I want to leave you with one final kind of provocative thought here.
Let's hear it.
Building on all of this.
Yeah.
If modern industries have successfully figured out how to occupy our minds and our time without actually paying for it.
Which they have.
Right. Could the next great frontier of human rights not be about, physical safety or minimum wage?
What would it be?
Could it be the legal and protected right to cognitive silence?
Wow. Cognitive silence.
Yeah, like what would a world look like where true, unmonitored disconnection is actually enshrined as a fundamental human right?
That is a powerful question. A legally protected interior room.
Exactly. Well, I hope everyone listening can reclaim just a little bit of their own interior room today. Unplug for a bit.
Definitely protect your peace.
Thank you so much for learning alongside us. We will catch you on the next deep dive.